Mommy, yesterday when you weren't home, Daddy had a woman here.
A woman? What did she look like?
Well, she looked very pretty. I saw them kiss on the lips.
I think my twin sister Vanessa was angry because my dad hadn't brought her the stuffed animal she wanted. My dad had been bringing Melissa, his mistress, over for months now, but he told us not to tell our mom and bribed us with ice cream and sweets. Hi, my name is Riley and I'm from Maine. Please like and subscribe. The next day, my mom pretended to go to work but hid in a nearby bush. When my dad came home with Melissa, she jumped out of the bushes and made a scene.
So this is what you've been doing while I've been out working?
Honey, calm down.
Why are you calling her honey? I thought you said you were finished with her.
Shut up! No one was talking to you, you home-wrecking piece of...
There was so much noise that the police had to be called. It was the first time my sister and I had ever witnessed a fight like that. So, as you can probably guess, Mom and Dad got a divorce. I stayed with my mom and Vanessa went to live with my dad and Melissa. Yeah, he didn't know that Vanessa was the one who snitched on him. Vanessa got to move to the most expensive part of town because Melissa was loaded, while I was left with Mom's dingy old house. So unfair. Over the years, we drifted apart and we rarely saw each other. 13 years later, I was creating chaos everywhere I went. It was sort of like my trademark, you know?
Riley, get out here, hurry!
Kaden called to me. One sec. We'd broken into my math teacher's house and lit firecrackers everywhere. I hopped out the window just as they started going off. We saw him running downstairs in his underwear looking frantic. It was hilarious. My friends and I did stuff like that all the time. We looked pretty scary too. I had about 4 piercings and refused to wear anything but black. Never mind my appearance, I was still a hopeless romantic, and I'd been crushing on Kaden for ages. While we were running away from my math teacher's house, I decided to just tell him. Hey Kaden, can I tell you something?
What?
I really like you. Like, I've had a crush on you since 6th grade.
Okay,
that's all?
well, I see you more like a sister. I don't really think you're my type. I like girly girls and, well, you're like one of the guys.
I cried all night and woke up looking like a zombie. My mom wouldn't let me leave the house until I told her what was wrong. A boy broke my heart and now I'm devastated. Happy now?
I think this is because of your father.
What?
I think you have daddy issues. I'll get in touch with a therapist today. We'll get through this.
And this is why I hate opening up to adults. They make everything sound worse sometimes. I definitely did not need therapy. But later that day, I wondered if I really did have daddy issues. I had no relationship with my dad and I felt like I knew nothing about him. Was there a way to fix this? I decided to call my sister Vanessa. Even though we drifted apart, we still kept in touch. Hey sis, listen, I have an idea.
Quickly, please. I've got cello practice in a while.
Don't you ever wish you could spend more time with Mom?
Yeah, but Melissa's a great stepmom. To be honest, it's Dad I'm tired of. I wish I could get away from him for a while. He's so annoying.
I actually want to spend more time with Dad, so here's my idea. Let's switch places for about a week. What? It took about a half hour of convincing, but Vanessa finally came through. We met at a mall after school the next day and made the switch.
There, now you look just like me,
Vanessa said as I looked into the mirror, horrified. I look too innocent. I hate this dress. Give me back my nose ring. No, Dad would faint. Ugh, fine. Let's go home. Have fun. I walked into my dad's house and felt like I was in a different world. There were chandeliers, marble floors, and everything.
Hey honey, go get changed for dinner quickly,
my dad said as he patted me on the head. He didn't even realize I wasn't Vanessa. Where's my room again? I went up the fancy staircase and gazed into every room until I found the one which I thought would belong to Vanessa. It was like someone had vomited pink onto everything. This was one of the thousands of adjustments I'd need to make. Even dinner was a challenge. It started on the first night. Darling, your elbows are on the table. Where are your table manners?
Sorry?
You've got to practice the cello for 1 hour after dinner, so eat quickly.
Okay.
Later, Dad was horrified because I couldn't play to save my life. I told him that maybe I was just tired, and he looked confused. Then I went to my room to call Vanessa. Your life is weird as heck.
Yours too. Hey, there's this guy called Caden who brought me a rose. He told me something about how he loves how I changed for him, and that he likes the clothes I'm wearing.
I tried to remain calm. Vanessa, what have you been wearing?
My usual clothes.
You're supposed to be dressing like me. Oh my gosh, you're ruining my reputation, my street cred. Mom's going to start thinking I'm crazy too.
Okay, fine. I'll wear your horrible clothes. Hey, I have one thing to ask.
What?
I have a boyfriend, Grayson. I need you to go out with him and stuff so he doesn't think I've forgotten about him. Just don't get too close, okay? I left a spare phone in my bed. His number is there.
Fine. I texted this Grayson dude and imagined that he probably looked like a real dweeb in person. I'll pick you up after school tomorrow. See you then, babe. Love you. He replied, and I cringed. Vanessa's school was awful. It was a private school, obviously, and the richest, most obnoxious kids went there. One of them tried to talk to me. Big mistake.
Hey, Vanessa, do you wanna...
Get lost, nerd.
Ah!
I barely got through the day without getting pulled for detention. After school, I waited for Grayson outside. I saw a red Ferrari pull up and the driver rolled down his window. Hi, beautiful. Keep moving, jerk. I can't even go to school without getting catcalled. Vanessa, are you okay? Grayson? I was shocked. He was hot. Like, super hot.
Just joking.
I got into the car and he sped off. How did my nerdy, perfect sister pull this one off? He drove us to the old orchard beach and we held hands and sat in the sand. I didn't even remember that I had a crush on Caden because Grayson was just so perfect. I was falling for him, and I was falling hard. Later, he drove me back to my dad's place, and that's when the magic happened. Do I get a kiss goodnight? Sure. It was my first kiss, and it was the best feeling in the entire world. So, things were getting better. My dad and I watched a movie together every night, and I felt like I was really getting to know him. He was super sweet, and I couldn't help feeling a bit sad that I didn't have him in my life all those years. He didn't even force me to play the cello because I made a fool of myself at a concert and he decided that I probably needed a break. The highlight of my life was Grayson, who surprisingly couldn't tell that I wasn't his real girlfriend. That was crazy, but I didn't care. We continued going out on romantic little dates every night until...
What do you think you're doing? Stop that right now!
I didn't see it coming. I was in the middle of a passionate kiss with Grayson while sitting near a fountain at the mall. I looked up at the face that was trying to tear me apart from my man. Vanessa? Whoa, there are two of you?
I told you to go out with him, not to suck his face.
Sorry, but I'm in love with him. You're not Vanessa? No, I'm Riley. Whoa. Grayson was quiet for a while. Then he walked away. This is just too confusing for me right now. I think we need to take a break.
No!
Vanessa and I shouted together. Then we shot each other angry looks.
I'm going back to my dad's house tonight. You've completely ruined my life.
Fine. Your life is dumb and boring anyway. Bye. It was great to get back to my old life, but I missed Grayson like crazy. To make things worse, my mom kept staring at me like she thought I was crazy. Then, one night, I came home to find the biggest surprise in my living room. My dad was sitting chatting with my mom. They stared at me while I walked in. Vanessa told me everything.
And after talking to your mom, I just want to say I am so sorry I haven't been there for you like I should.
Your father and I both agree that we should have helped you and Vanessa bond as sisters.
So we've decided to register both of you in a summer volunteer program together. You'll be monitoring kids at camp in the forest. Isn't that wonderful? You leave next week.
No! They wouldn't hear it. And the next week, I was sitting next to a sister I hated, on my way to the wilderness, about to have the worst summer ever. We spent the first 2 weeks as mortal enemies. All we ever did was fight while the little kids looked at us like we were completely insane. Then, the unexpected happened. I went for a stroll on my own early in the morning and decided to take a break after I had walked a bit. I was starting to doze off, but then I heard a rustle behind me. Who's there? No one answered. I got up and looked behind me. I froze in fear. There was a huge black bear. I walked backwards slowly as it stared, looking at me like I was the most delicious breakfast it had ever seen. Then, I felt someone hold my hand. I jumped. Shh! It's just me. Just back away slowly. Black bears don't usually hurt people. Calm down. We backed away slowly, but suddenly it lunged towards us. Not today! Vanessa pepper sprayed the bear's eyes and we ran away while it was blinded. When we reached camp, we burst into laughter. Hey, you saved my life. Thank you. She gave me a hug, and just like that, we were okay again.